Hi everyone, thanks for joining me on another Sunday night. We have Faye Seidler, Sunday Nights with Faye Seidler, the show you're watching. I'm on Zoom instead of OBS right now because my camera OBS software is being funky. I don't know why. That means I'm in lower resolution now, and I'm not happy about that, but I'm here. I haven't had a show in a little bit. I've been very busy doing a lot of different things. One of those things is I was nominated for an award from the Rape and Abuse Crisis Center called Healing the Hurt. This was an award to recognize the work I do to inspire hope across our communities, to center ourselves during times of trauma or tragedy, and to assure that we find ways to heal and move forward from the things that happen both in our life and to us from situations all across our nation and community. It was an enormous honor to get this award because Rape and Abuse Crisis Center has been a pivotal organization in my life. While I wasn't a traditional client of theirs, they did invest in me as an individual. They listened to the things I had to say about what went on in our community, and they supported me when I was young and didn't have a lot of people who cared too much about what I had to say. Without their support, to me across the years, without them giving me the opportunities to be a presenter, to even help with grants years ago, I wouldn't be here. If they hadn't believed in me or showed me how strong I could be as a person, I don't think I would be anywhere close to where I am today. So it's an enormous honor to get an award from an organization that has supported and uplifted you to be who you could be. So that was an incredible night and something I very much cherish. And I think in true honor of that award, I was spending a lot of my time across this last couple of days trying to build hope for our queer community in the light of the gender-affirming care ban being upheld in our court systems. A couple things to know about the story is that the court does not determine what medicine is. It determines that the state has the authority to dictate the medicine individuals can access. Our legislators are not doctors, at least most of them are not. Our legislators don't have 70 years of medical experience, research, and none of them are truly capable of practicing medicine, and it's a little strange that we even allowed this. There are some quotes from Attorney General Drew Wigley about how this was something that was well considered, and that's incorrect. I watched the entirety of the law that banned hormone care for trans kids play out, and it was vibes. It was just vibes. It took less than 10 hours to eliminate and criminalize care that has been slowly built up across 70 years of research in America. And it's strange if you were to start a clinic on the Red River and you had it, so some rooms were on the North Dakota side and some were on the Minnesota side, a doctor following the established medical protocol of helping trans kids as agreed upon by all of our major medical associations would be able to practice that care effortlessly in Minnesota. And if they crossed a 100-foot divide, maybe even 30 feet, and provided that same care that they are taught to provide as part of their medical education, they would be arrested. They would be criminalized in North Dakota. That's how draconic this law really is. So it's unfortunate that we have it, but the good news is that we can overturn it by a new law. So that might be something we do in 2026 or 2028 whenever we decide that we want to actually help trans kids in our state. The unfortunate part is the Supreme Court is looking to overturn conversion therapy bans. These are often state-level bans. Sometimes they are organizational bans that prohibit the practice of conversion therapy because it's considered harmful and unethical, which is against generally your medical standards of practice where you're not trying to hurt your patient. Unless you're in North Dakota and want to help your trans patients, then you have to hurt them. Thanks, North Dakota legislators. Good job. But that aside, it's scary because this is the case on its merits are effectively if some individual would like to get care, they should be allowed to have it consensually from a therapist is kind of the case that we're talking about. However, it's the first step on a road to non-consensual conversion therapy. And when we hear about this, who gives consent for a kid? Because it's often their parents. And if their parents are consenting to conversion therapy, their kid might not, but has to. And that's what the torture is. That's why you get those negative outcomes that are disproportionately bad, even for queer youth, disproportionately bad for the queer youth who've experienced conversion therapy. The government has now been shut down for 10 days, I think. It's a while. Everyone's unhappy about it. Most people are blaming Republicans. Some people are blaming Democrats. Everyone's getting hurt. That's politics. Anyways, the scariest thing seems to be around healthcare coverage and the Affordable Care Act subsidies, which currently the Republican version of the spending bill is removing them. I don't have a high level understanding of it, but what I have read is that it could increase some of these healthcare costs upwards of $1,000 a month for folks who do not have that money at all. So it sounds like while there's a lot of, complex issues with the spending bill, Democrats are not budging on this. They're assuring that individuals can keep their insurance subsidies while Republicans are trying to eliminate them. There's probably more to that story, but it seems like that is the actual heart of what's going on. Where that plays out, unclear, but I will say that there are a lot of struggles across our communities, especially in our health, our insurance, our rural communities. We're all struggling for a lot of reasons, and we hope that the spending bill is something that is mature and something that actually helps your average everyday American in some way, hopefully. But do you not like the way the world is going right now from the stories I talked about, like banning medically necessary care, introducing torture for a population, removing medical care? All these things I think are bad, but that's my values as a person that align with social workers. Evaluate Academy is a time to gather with other individuals that are leaders within communities of change. If you want to learn how to run for office or support those running for office, Evaluate Academy is your place to go to. They aren't the only avenue for this. League of Women Voters has a lot of general, nonpartisan information for you. And your local parties, if you're Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, you probably have options. Talk to the people who run those parties in your local counties or districts to get involved. I believe still in a representational democracy. I don't think it should all be Democrats or Republicans or anything like that. I think it should be a diverse set of voices that understand the diverse experiences that exist across our communities. I think that our democracy is better the more of us that are involved, and I think that the results of today are a lot of us aren't involved. A lot of us gave up or never gave in, actually. So if you want to make some change, this is your opportunity. And if you don't want to get that involved, but a little bit involved, there is a No Kings protest happening next weekend. This is a time to show discontent to our current leadership and what they are doing. I support protests in general. I think there might be individual protests I might not support, but I think it's important that we protest the things that we dislike, whether that be because you didn't like Biden or whatever they did, or you didn't like whatever Trump is doing. I think that protests are a fundamental aspect of keeping democracy. It is putting our voice out there and being loud and showing that we care. So I will try to promote all the protests that I see that achieve that end. And if you know about them, let me know about them so I can share it out. And again, nonpartisanly, I think all protests, with maybe some exceptions here or there, I would support. That's the news I have for you tonight. It's not all the news I have because I've been very behind. I have something like 150 or 200 different stories and links that I've been trying to itemize across the week, but I'm still behind because I basically work all of my hours. So when I do additional things, it puts me that many hours behind, and I don't have a lot of slack in my schedule. But I think I'll start to, I can always say that, I hope to start catching up again next week. I think I'm finally getting back a little bit into this. So I want you to know that. I always have stuff I have cooking. I always have things that I'm doing. I would say follow my newsletters. I'm behind on those too, what do you know? But I'll get those out there pretty soon, and it'll be updates on more of the stuff that's going on. So I guess like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. I'll see you next week. I'll hopefully be a little bit back to normal. And maybe my OBS will work and I don't have to be in Zoom. Gross. I'm trapped in this Zoom box. Okay. That's what I have. Bye.